Hey everybody, this is pre-market analysis. We are now 10 minutes to the open. So what are we looking at for today? First of all, we got the FOMC meeting tomorrow. So the market could just either, do whatever it wants until the meeting. What's going to happen at the meeting? We don't know what to expect. People like Elon Musk are asking to get requesting, recommending to get a half a point cut. Wouldn't that be a good thing? Um, and some people think it's just going to be, a quarter point raise. So let's just, if anything can happen, obviously, and during the FOMC meeting, what happens is we have whipsaws right away, up and down. So just be careful during that time because things move up and down quickly a lot. So I'm gonna start with the diamonds here on the left. Just it's such a compacted daily graph over here, what we're looking at. But overall, we had this downtrend. We kind of came out of this box, and now we are back down to the lower level of this box. So this is an area of support so far. Since we don't know if market's going to go up or down, if we're going to want shorts, we have to wait for the Dow to either break and stay below and go back into this tunnel, or just continue going up to back up to the 346 areas. Look at the SPY, very interesting. So we have like this bear flag, and we're kind of like even making it even steeper and running away from this bear flag area. It's like V-shaped all of a sudden. And the range is I'm just extending now this craziness. The flag is just becoming, if you want to call this a flag, we might as well just already move into some sort of pattern. We're kind of moving into a pattern like a tunnel already. Let's just forget about the flag. It just doesn't look like a flag anymore. It looked like it was forming some sort of flag, right? But look at the beautiful range. So, 381 all the way to 415. Play this range, this shorting around 415 areas, buying around 385 areas with, you got to have stops. Or just looking for some options, calls or puts, make it simple. The Qs was the best. We loved it. We saw from the beginning. We had some sort of bull flag, and we broke through it on the 60-minute, on the daily. So we're gonna have to see what happens here. Overall, though, I'm looking at these sectors. I look today at every single sector almost, and I'll walk you through a couple of them. The economy, everyone's calling for everything to fall out of bed and so on, but I looked at some interesting sectors today. The picture actually looks like everything's cool on the graphs, and I'll start with the technology sector. Okay, so we're looking at the tech sector. I'm looking at a monthly here. This thing's just been on a run from 2008. Nothing gives a hiccup to this sector. And the trend line just got so much, steeper than what it was. It's just insane. This is the first time that this tech sector came in. It's obviously everyone jumped from 175 to 115, which is significant. Everyone jumped in and started buying tech again. That's what made the Qs go up, and we were like in a resistance area here for 4 months, 5 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so all of a sudden, we just decided to take off now again, back up to the 150 area. So, tech looks good, right? Overall. Let's look at the semiconductor index. I love this index. I used to trade this index ever since it was in the 20s and 2000 in 1999. 98 even. So, again, look at this trend line going all the way up from, wherever this SMH was. And this is the first time again in a long time. Every few years we get this little drop, like in 18, we got it again at 20. Before that, we got it in 16, again in 12. And once again, we got this drop from 320 all the way on 170, which we got, which is a huge drop. So obviously, everyone saw this as an opportunity, started buying them. And what's going on now? We're at a resistance level. So that right there will help us with indication of an indication of what's going to happen in months to come. This is some sort of resistance level, and this is the new range here for a while. This is the new range, right? I mean, we got 185 to like 250, and we're breaking that to the top side. So keep an eye on that. That's a monthly graph. Look at it on a weekly graph. I even see a inverted head and shoulders. Here's your head, you got a left shoulder, a right shoulder, and this is your neckline, and we're right around there. This 255 area is resistance. There's no reason not to sell a resistance, to this whole area right here. No reason why take a small, it's like a month trade, it's like a 2 weeks. These are called swing trades. We'll learn more about it. If you want to learn how to manage that, you'll have to find me in one of my videos where I'm teaching how to manage your money on swing trades, how much of stop loss you take, because the range is 230 all the way up to 255, more or less, and we're at the top of it. This could be the breakout. If it's going to be the breakout, we'll figure out the next trade, to the long side. But I don't buy breakouts unless it's intraday, like I'm there on the screen holding my stop loss. I'm not losing more than, 36 cents, 57 cents on something really volatile, tops, or I'll take a smaller quantity if I really believe and raise my price to $1 stop and so on. So that's the SMH, right? We got inverted head and shoulder, which looks good, right? So the economy, everyone's talking negative, but it's banking crisis that we're having and so on. But the sectors are showing otherwise. Look at this one. Check this one out. This is the financial sector. I'm giving you a break. This is whether we like it or not. I'm seeing where I'd like support areas, right? See this? This was a monthly graph. This was your last resistance areas around $31. And here we are. We came below it, scared everybody, pulled out all the stop losses, whatever you want to, whatever happened there happened. Right now we're trading at 31 again. So, this market XLF is the biggest banks. What is going to happen to these biggest banks? They're going to probably get all these accounts from the small banks and move on. Where are they going to move on? Hopefully to higher profits. So these are things you got to take into consideration. I'm not saying it's going to go up. I'm not saying it's going to go down. But according to my technical analysis right now, this is an area of support. So you got to, build into a position. I don't know if I take this long term right now, but I'd build it in from an intraday kind of perspective, and then move, if I'm right on the trade, move it to a swing trade, and then if things look good and the news are coming out good, maybe I'll just hold on to it for a while. Whenever you're taking these trades, try and make sure it's not more than 1% of your portfolio. You only get to be wrong a certain amount of times. So that's what I'm seeing in these sectors. I'm gonna leave that, I guess, for now. But you see, here's the XLF. There it is, like some sort of a tunnel right now, 37 to 31. So that's what I'm saying. If it played it already, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's worth a play after you see this the first two times. You got to take the third and the fourth and the fifth. If you're right for 77, $65 out of the 7 range. Okay, let's say. And if you're wrong and you take a small quantity and you want to extend your stop loss to a whole dollar, that's fine, because you see this, you have to take this into consideration. See these wicks? They actually came down all the way from 31 to about 29.50. So sometimes people want to extend that stop. I know somebody that was amazing at swing trading. He used to have a $2 stop loss. That was his thing. He used to give the stock a lot of room to fall. He didn't care news or no news. So let's move on to another screen. I hope I showed that. Did I share that screen? Man, I hope I shared it. Either way, if I didn't share it, then I'll do it again. If I didn't show it, here it is again. You see it is, there's a tunnel, we're in the XLF. And there we are in the monthly. We're back up to this support area at 31. This is your new range, 36 to 31. I'll show it on the SMH again. This was the SMH with the first time we had a pull in and a range where 250, to 188, and that's on the monthly. And on there's the head and shoulders I was talking about, with the head, one shoulder on the left, one shoulder on the right, and a neckline. So we're going to move to some, obviously, the banking sector again, right? So I want to look at the XLF, at the KRE. Let's look at that KRE for a second, because that's really where the issues are right now. So you guys can see the KRE right there. This is a 5-minute graph. Remember what we said? We had a low of March 13th. We had the low of it was $42, right? And we kind of never got there again, right? We never got there again. We have 42.75 and so on, 43, 40. And here we are again. Every single time we got to 52, right? I had this on the 52. I had a resistance area. That was our selling areas. 52 right there was right there. 47.50. 1, 2, and 3. I know I had one of 52 if I recall. So no, 47.50. This was the area that I kept showing you guys. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to see what happens now when we reach that 47.50 area. It's going to be significant area, and obviously you got this whole entire gap area that we have that we're looking at. So that's our range, and what are we doing is a good question. And we got almost faked out over here, if you guys recall that day. So be really careful with that. Look at SI. SI is one of these banks that's having trouble, and we were looking at right through this whole area. It caused a low March 13th at $1.60. Today it's actually yesterday it was trading already below this area. So this could be an area where they're taking people's stop losses out, and they could go up depending on how this whole banking thing is going to play out. But then again, it could not, and this could go down just like CS went down into below $1. The same thing could happen to SI. So I'd be very careful. If you're shorting it, it's got to be with options, and right now they're too expensive. So I don't see a play here unless you feel that there is a long. I don't see reason to take a long in this thing as of yet. Let's move on to some other interesting ones, because there are some cool plays here that I'm going to look at for today. So WBS, this is a trend line that was just completely obliterated. I saw it yesterday, beautiful trend line, downward sloping trend that we had from March 20th, which was one day. And there's your next resistance. We're pretty much right there, 1 and 2, okay, right around 41.75. And we're 41.33. So 41.75 is a trigger for resistance that those places take shorts on that. The bottom line here was $36 from March 13th. New York NYCB, they said it got some accounts from FRC and so on. So we're going to go to a 60-minute graph so you guys could see what's going on here. And it's in a completely new range right now. Okay. This is pretty much as high as, where the bank was prior to this banking crisis. So obviously somebody here is banking that they're going to make a lot of money. And we have to keep an eye on this, because there is a lot of room to come down if they don't. Take, for instance, FRC. We said the 1755 was a low. They broke it yesterday. They came back down to resistance. That's why I always say resistance level is the best place to take shorts. Support's best place to buy, depending on you want to go with the trend, obviously. There is trading right now around 1540. So the play is around 1750 again for a short if it comes to that area. But we're going to see how this progresses and how the KRE holds up and so on. EWBC now. This is going to sound insane, but you got this never came back down to 34.10. It kind of hit this area, went back up, and just continued and flew up and trying to go back up. This is a major area. And it's going to continue probably, but it was down as far as 34. if this crisis is going to get deeper, which, on CNBC they're saying it's over with. Wow, we're going to let one couple of banks that help the rich people get richer, hold our economy as hostage. No, so they think this is going to be over with and we're done. But if this is coming in, because the big banks I also saw, they're at the lows. Yesterday they were at the lows. BAC, Citibank, Wells Fargo, the big boys, they were at their lows. So this could be an interesting place where this bank, like I showed you, this banking crisis, if people are calling for it to be over, it could be over. But if it doesn't, I definitely want to look at EWBC for short, okay, with puts. It's something that could be interesting. Why with puts? Because it's too risky right now holding these things overnights for in short positions, because of the fact that it could be that this is over. Same thing with Wall. The low is 750. FRC went back down to its low and even broke that low. Why shouldn't Wall, do the same thing? Maybe because it's not as much risk, but who's there to be able to make that analysis? I can't. But if the market goes down, that's another one I'll be looking for some shorts. Zion, that bank's been strong forever, right? Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for right now. Obviously, I got PACW, HBAN, and Key and BPOP, and there are a bunch of other stocks in this sector, but we'll come back to that as the day progresses. Happy trading. Enjoy the rest of the day. Ciao.